Well, we're certainly pleased to be joined by David Backus, who, like so many NHL players, is at home awaiting the potential restart of the season. During this NHL pause, David, what's kind of kept you busy, or how are you and your family handling COVID-19?
Well, we have a 4.5-year-old daughter and a 2-year-old son, so we're certainly staying busy trying to make new activities for them to do and keep it fresh and enjoyable for them. I think that's maybe a blessing that they might not know as much as just not going to school, but not know that there's chaos going on in the world. We're trying to keep it as simple as possible for them. And then I purchased the Peloton, so we've been addicted to that thing. And my wife and I pushing each other and just trying to enjoy these moments for the uniqueness that they bring us.
A great way to stay in shape. And I know one of the things that you've been working on or involved in is Bible study, chapel gatherings. What does that look like? How often do you do it, and who's involved?
Well, I think everything has changed around these parts with this separation. During the season, when I was with the Bruins, we'd either meet in the morning at IHOP and gather for some pancakes, and we have a local pastor that would join the group, and we'd have upwards of 10, 12 guys that would show up for chapel, and he would either bring a topic or a specific verse or chapter of the Bible that we talk about and just kind of discuss things that are going well for us, things we're struggling with, growing that relationship and those connections to our teammates, and sharing our faith and our life and our connection to God. And that's been a great growing point. I think it's been a great connection point in Boston, and one of the reasons it's translated to good play on the ice, because you care about each other and you know a lot more about what's going on behind the scenes because you have that open sharing at the chapel.
So now that you're not able to get together over some pancakes and syrup and coffee, how are you kind of handling this from an online standpoint?
Well, it's turned to, like these interviews, onto Zoom, and we still meet on Mondays and just kind of we were working on the Easter story, because that was obviously a prevalent part of faith before, or is still, but it was very relative with the Easter holiday. And now we're going through the book of James, reading a chapter a week, and just what stood out to you, what kind of relates to your current life. And if we run out of material there, we move on to what's just going on with yourselves, and anything you're doing that's helped you with this time, anything you've helped or struggled with, and what's going on with family members and prospective moving forward.
David, myself, individually speaking, when I was a kid, I was an altar boy. Grew up Roman Catholic, go to church once a week. But I often hear people say two things you don't talk about are religion and politics. So you're in the world of professional sports. How do you bring religion into it? Is it a difficult line to cross, or make sure you don't cross the wrong side in case some teammates, some players don't want to discuss it?
I think it's been an evolution. I think early in my career, I didn't think the two could coexist. There was no chapel in the room in St. Louis for a long time. There was nobody was talking about faith or God, or you might see a cross necklace here or there, or a guy saying a prayer, but you didn't know if he was just focusing before a game. Now it seems like it's a lot more acceptable. I think there was maybe a little bit of a stigma attached to it, but you've seen some of the guys that are faith-filled and just guys you hate to play against. Laurie Boschman, obviously I haven't played against him, but guys you don't want to play against. In my era, more of the Shane Doan and the Mike Fisher guys that just never seemed to stop, and you hated playing against them, but they seem to have a little bit more to play for than other guys, and it showed on the ice.
Well, you're committed to God, and I know you're committed to animals. Where did your love for pets first begin?
I grew up with a dog that was kind of rehomed, and just enjoyed having a pet as a younger boy. But I think when I got older, I could see that they were part of the voiceless, that they needed someone to speak up for them, someone to take care of them. I put them, not maybe in the same category as children, but some category that they don't have someone advocating for them all the time, or they can't advocate for themselves and need others to take care of them, to advocate for them. And felt like it was an opportunity for my wife and I to get involved. First in college, to just kind of volunteer because we couldn't have our own pets in a rented apartment. And then as a professional, it translated very well that we could use our platform to to spread the message of need in the animal welfare world.
You've you and your wife Kelly, you were executive producers on a documentary called Champions, if I'm not mistaken. What was the background on that?
I was just trying to tell the story of the bully breeds that have bad stigmas, and just try to explain to people that these dogs are not innately aggressive or mean, that every little puppy is sweet and innocent, and someone either took that animal and mistreated it to make it mean and aggressive, or something happened to it along the way that it turned that way. And I think that was kind of one of the misconceptions that we were trying to dispel. And it was kind of not a human rights point of view, but we should be judged on the content of our character and not the way we look. Just dogs, humans, everyone alike, because there's no standard, or that's just a falsity if people are believing that because you look one way you're going to act some way.
What's the reaction been like to your website, Athletes with Animals?
Athletes for Animals, yeah,
For Animals.
It's been a labor of love. We've had a lot of athletes volunteer. It's kind of evolved over the years. We started by trying to get ambassadors to officially sign on with our group, and we just found that to be cumbersome at times. So now we just try to connect dots between initiatives, whether it's breed-specific legislation, whether it's locally just getting involved with the local shelter. We found that while writing a check certainly helps, and these organizations do need money, if you lend your name to them and use your platform, they can go a lot longer and a lot further than just writing a check, which is noble as well.
Okay, let's talk some hockey. We should get to that, considering you've had a long and successful career in the National Hockey League. Started the season with Boston. You ended up in Anaheim. How would you kind of describe your year?
That's a lot of thinking to go into that. It's been trying, I'd certainly say. Healthy scratch in Boston, trying to find a fit was maybe not too much of a shock after the way last season ended in the finals and not playing the last 3 games. But try to keep my head above water, and I've got a strong support system. My wife really, kicks me in the butt when I need it, and is a big supporter of mine when I need that as well. And just trying to help the team however I could, if that was not playing for a little bit and helping some of the young guys, or getting inserted and trying to do what I could with limited minutes. That was kind of where my headspace was at. Then I had a 6-week time where I was at home and not allowed to report to a minor league team, and just kind of hanging out, waiting to see if there was going to be an opportunity for me to play again. And it was a time for reflection for me, of a little bit of perspective of, if this is it, how do I feel about what I've done? If this isn't it, what have I not done that I really wish I would have done? And if I get another chance, I hope to capitalize on that. And while it was trying and it was difficult, I was also able to have that perspective. And then in my time in Anaheim, even though it was short, was to enjoy the ups, enjoy the downs, enjoy the work, enjoy the sweat and blood and tears, and the connection with your teammates, and just being able to help everyone along and put other guys first, and be just a good example of what a good teammate would be, but also what a good servant to the Lord would be. And those things are things that I don't want to have regrets about, and able to practice them a little bit, and hoping to get to practice them more this season, whatever this season is. And then I've got one more year on my deal there. Hope to be back for another year there, and continue to have an opportunity in a great place.
Well, you're at 950 games. I really hope you get to 1,000, and I really hope you're going to enjoy our rapid fire segment that we finish off with when talking to NHL players at home. Favorite dessert?
Ice cream.
Childhood hero?
Mario Lemieux.
Oh, that's a good one. Now, favorite arena to play in?
Vancouver.
Favorite sports movie?
The Little Giants.
Okay, and if you weren't playing in the NHL, what do you think you would be?
My plan was I was in electrical engineering at Mankato, and then go to law school after that and be a patent lawyer. And now I get hit in the head for a living. So this is quite the change of pace, but I still have interest in law, and the engineering thing never came to fruition to finish, but still things that really piqued my interest and hope to have that as part of my second life after the hockey life is over.
Well, David, listen, we appreciate your time. Continued success with your family, with your faith, and what you're doing for animals, and hope to see you at a NHL rink sometime in the near future.
Thank you. I appreciate the interview, and hope you stay well and everyone else is staying home so we can all get out back to normal as soon as possible.